Yeah, there's not a whole ton to be proud of when it comes to Florida and the people in it. Like, half the people here think using sunscreen is going to send you straight to hell. So, with that in mind, let's see what Florida people are up to when it comes to coronavirus and the controversial topic of wearing a mask.
You literally cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask knowing that that mask is killing people. It literally is killing people.
Yeah, this is why it's so easy to scam people these days, because everyone just wants to feel special, so they just will believe anything at all that puts them in a category that's different from others, no matter how fucking wrong it is. Like this claim right here, you can immediately disprove that masks are killing people with a 2-second Google search, but it doesn't matter because she believes it. She saw it on Facebook, and now she 100% believes it and will not hear the actual truth. That's why people are buying fucking special rocks that they're told blocks Wi-Fi, which they're told, exposure to Wi-Fi over time will cause your nipples to fall off. And they don't bother to do any research on it. They just stick in this fucking disgusting echo chamber on Facebook and believe things like masks are killing people.
And we the people are waking up, and we know what citizens arrest is because citizens arrests are already happening, okay? And every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity.
Whoa, calm down there, Judge Dredd. Jesus Christ, she's out here being the judge, jury, and executioner. Threatening a citizen's arrest, that's serious. Citizen's arrest, I think, has been pulled off successfully 0 times in the entire history of that fucking thing's existence. I'm pretty sure citizen's arrest was started as a joke, and then they just kept it there as a joke. Threatening to citizen's arrest somebody is like threatening to shoot laser beams out of your eyeballs at somebody. It's a threat that you just laugh at.
Every single one of you have a smirk behind that little mask, but every single one of you are going to get punished by God. You cannot escape God. You cannot escape God. I'm gonna say that again. You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet, okay?
Damn, and here I thought I was safe with my 6 feet, but I guess God has an answer to everything, huh? He can counter pretty much every move? What a shame. Well, as you would expect, the majority of people that are against masks think it infringes on their God-given oxygen. Because apparently when they put on a mask, they suction cup it to their face and suffocate themselves or some shit. I don't know how the fuck they wear a mask unless they're duct taping it around their face until they pass out. I couldn't tell you. But you're going to see that argument a lot in this council meeting here today.
6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. You're trying to get the people to train them so when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody. We gotta get scanned, we gotta get temperatured. The kids have to go to school with masks. Are you insane? Are you crazy?
Yeah, are you guys crazy? Are you insane? This lady's out here, very knowledgeable, spitting some facts right in front of you. And you have these devilishly crazy ideas like 5G? Oh my god. I'm actually pretty sure this lady is an android constructed by Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg himself created her in a lab and just compiled every fucking garbage Facebook conspiracy and belief and put it all into one person and then unleashed her on this council meeting in Florida just to test it out.
I think all of you should be in a psych ward right the heck now, because none of you know what the hell you are all talking about. This is insane. And then you want to open this meeting with a prayer to God. Are you praying to the devil? Because God is not listening to that prayer, because all of you are practicing the devil's laws. What happened to Bill Gates? Why is he not in jail? Why is Hillary Clinton not in jail? Why are all of these pedophiles that are demanding you all to listen to their rules? Why are they not in jail? Oh, is it because you're part of them? Are you part of the deep state?
Your time has expired.
The deep state is going down. And if any of you are in the deep state, you're going down with.
So the female Alex Jones goes on a full-fledged rant there. Unfortunately, they cut her off before she got into the interdimensional time-traveling psychic vampire werewolves, but I'm sure she'll come back for the next meeting to discuss that. To see this woman in the condition she's in where her brain has been rotted by Facebook is actually pretty sad, if I'm being honest. She clearly takes everything she sees on Facebook at face value, no matter how outrageous it is, fucking bringing up Bill Gates and shit like that. What I'm hoping for, though, is in the next couple months we can see an explosion of the reptilian movement, because at least that shit is entertainingly stupid. Not dangerous, For those that don't know, the reptilian conspiracy is people that believe that there's lizard people among us that hide as human beings, and they'll talk about like zippers on the side of their face and shit like that. The reptilian one is great.
And I'll quote you, Miss McKinley. You said if you don't like the rules, shop somewhere else. Well, after today, I won't have that option anymore because I am discriminated on every single time I tell somebody that I have a medical condition that does not allow me to wear a mask.
Another passionate speech is given here, and another misguided person is led astray thanks to the internet. As you can see, the person behind her is holding up an anti-vax sign talking about the dangers of vaccines. So, I mean, this is kind of the clientele you're dealing with when you're presenting this kind of shit at a council meeting. But it is sad. And apparently everyone in the entire fucking world that uses Facebook has a medical condition that prevents you from wearing a mask. I guess just using Facebook is a disease in and of itself that inhibits the person's ability to fucking breathe anymore, apparently. It's super weird how everyone who reads that rubbing essential oils in your butthole is gonna heal you of coronavirus somehow also has an unspecified, undiagnosed medical condition that prevents them from wearing a mask out in public. Super fucking weird.
You're not God, and since masks are harmful, where there is risk, there should be choice. You're removing our freedoms and stomping on our constitutional rights by these communist dictatorship orders or laws you want to mandate. Today, you have the ability to show your residents that you truly care. Because if you do vote to mandate masks in a workplace, in public, in schools or stores, the death of many will be on your hands. The overwhelming evidence that is being presented to you today in no way, shape, or form can consciously allow you to put your citizens' health at risk. Voting yes to mask mandates makes no scientific sense.
Yes, some very compelling evidence was being presented today, such as, masks are bad, it's the work of the devil. What about Bill Gates? Are you kidding me? This is God's air. What the fuck is happening? You want to 5G us? Yeah, that's some real good evidence right there. I just can't even fucking wrap my head around it. They've convinced themselves that they're making good points. It's like they don't even hear themselves talk anymore. It's wild. It's wild. It's like using Facebook over time like rips your soul out of your body and you just become like this husk, like this clueless fucking husk of a person. These fucking people, have they never seen a doctor? And nurses, doctors in a hospital setting, they fucking wear masks for 6-8 hours a day. These people have probably never put a mask on in their goddamn life. They lack object permanence. Like if you put a handful of dollar bills, like if you put $5 in your hand and put it behind your back, they probably think it's not even there anymore, that it's just fucking vanished. They're like goddamn children. They see a mask over your face and they think you can't breathe. It's so silly.
Keep taking the road of least resistance. Keep listening to the TV brainwashing you from birth. Keep listening to conditioning messages in your local stores while shopping, just like Fidel Castro did over the loudspeakers in Cuba. Don't you see the problem? The truth is out there. Just go seek the truth.
Yeah, the truth is out there. Go seek the truth. As long as it's the truth that I found on Facebook. I always love that sentiment from people like this. Go do real research. No, not that research from like scientists and shit. I'm talking about like actual research, from like Facebook meme pages that are run by a dude in his fucking shit-stained underwear in his 40s. That he actually knows what he's talking about, not these experts. These experts are fucking clueless. They're propaganda machines. And do real research at Facebook.
My concern, since I do have a medical condition that I cannot wear a mask, you are taking food away from my table.
Now, that is an absolutely great point. Hey, while you're on your phone, why don't you download like Uber Eats or some shit like that, or one of the million other apps that deliver food to your door. That way you can still get those precious nutrients on your table without being a big fucking nuisance to everyone else around you.
And they want to throw God's wonderful breathing system out the door. You're all turning your backs on it.
Yeah, I found the entire stream, all 6.5 hours, and this is the only time it buffered. It's like what she said was so shocking that even the video itself had to take a pause to process it. Turning our backs on God's beautiful breathing system. What can you even say about that, honestly?
God made it so that we would breathe in fresh oxygen to go to our body, to every cell in the body. It has to have that to make energy. When you wear a mask, the nose is cut off, the mouth is cut off, and you're breathing carbon dioxide over and over and over again. You're not getting the fresh oxygen that God intended. You're sending carbon dioxide to every cell in the body, polluting it.
I'd like to say, in the beginning, God formed man out of the earth and breathed his breath in him, and he became a living soul. And God gave us the very breath that we are to breathe. I would also like to know, where do you get the authority to reduce my oxygen? Who made you perpetrators over my life?
Jesus Christ, there isn't some kind of invisible goblin unit that's stealing oxygen away from you and giving it to the government. It's a fucking mask.
And ma'am, as a doctor, I really have many question marks about your degrees and what you really know, because what you say is the political dogma that they're trying to shove down our throats on every commercial and every store, and it's disgusting. And I'm sorry, ma'am, but I don't think that you are worthy of your credentials. And I would ask suggestively that you go back to school and get educated.
Yeah, why don't you get educated like this perfectly sane woman here who was talking about how God breathed into people's assholes in the beginning of time or something? Why can't you be more knowledgeable and smart like this woman?
To put masks on our face, to keep us from breathing oxygen, to get us to become sickly.
Actual fucking toddlers with a little tantrum. No, I'm not eating my vegetables. No, how dare you make me eat my vegetables? That's not fair. You can't make me eat these vegetables. I don't want to eat these vegetables. Same fucking thing with this mask debacle here.
How can you make a one-size-fits-all mandate? Are you considering the following? I've been a music teacher for 23 years. I need you to tell me, how do I play a saxophone and sing with a mask on? I'll let you think about that.
Checkmate. Yeah, masks are a bad idea. She can't play the saxophone. I don't know why we didn't think of that. How are you supposed to play a brass instrument with a mask on? You can't. It doesn't work. You're not going to be able to play a beautiful tune. And if it's interfering with the saxophone playing, well, the masks, I guess they just gotta go. Somehow, this was the most sane argument I saw from people at this meeting. Because she's not wrong. You can't really play the saxophone with a mask on. You'd have to take the mask down and then play it. Everyone else just talked about how they were dying, how the masks were literally making people drop dead in the streets. At least hers was accurate. She's not wrong. You can't play the sax with a mask on. If I'm being honest, all of these people and their words actually did speak to me and open my third eye to a truth. I now understand why insane fucking lunatics like this actually have some level of power and a voice in decision making. It's because they're the only goddamn troglodytes that leave their cave to go to these fucking meetings. This meeting lasted 6.5 hours, and the only people there were anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers. These fucking brainwashed idiots that still believe the tooth fairy is real waited 6.5 hours just to go walk up to a mic for 30 seconds and regurgitate what they read on Facebook while being laughed at by the people they're saying it to. A normal, rational person will be like, well, 6.5 hours just to speak for 30 seconds and get made fun of. Probably not worth the time investment. But these fucking people lack even the most basic cognitive functions to register what boredom is. So they will happily wait 6.5 hours just to read some garbage script off their phone they wrote while fucking half blacked out on Xanax and wine. And then it's incredible to me. And incredible is the wrong word. Terrifying is the appropriate word. These speeches are like fucking middle school debate club level shit. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah. As time goes on, I find myself believing more and more in the conspiracy theory that Florida was created as an experiment by the devil to house the dumbest people humanity had to offer. Maybe as a joke, maybe just as a science experiment, I couldn't really tell you. But coronavirus has really shown me just how fucking dumb this state is. We're getting upwards of 10,000 new cases a day, still climbing, and we're still hitting those fucking beaches, baby. The people that make up the population of Florida don't even feel like sentient human beings anymore. They feel like the product of a mad science experiment where somebody fucking Frankensteined the brain of a gopher into the body of a sunburnt drug addict. And much like the gopher, they're afraid of their own shadow, if that shadow was common sense. But luckily there's one superhero among us, one Florida man in particular that's become so powerful that he was able to scare away death itself this weekend.
And it was quite a scare. Lawyer Daniel Ohlfelder dressed as the Grim Reaper in an attempt to alert Floridians of the dangers of reopening the economy too soon. He believes opening the state's beaches right now is a mistake and will endanger lives as the community continues to battle COVID-19.
You know your state is fucked when you're actually rooting for the Grim Reaper here. So this guy cosplaying as the Grim Reaper had enough sense to recognize that immediately reopening the beaches as a way of celebrating coronavirus or whatever the fuck we opened them for is just a stupid idea and dangerous. So he dresses as the Grim Reaper as just a way to peaceful protest, and he's self-aware, he knows it's goofy, he's just having fun with his protest and letting people know the danger of it. And he's been doing this for a little while, but unfortunately, he did this on the 4th of July and came toe-to-toe with the Thanos of Florida men.
Biden and Hunter went over to China.
Well, let me get this straight. Okay, Hunter
They
Biden,
brought it back.
after we went to...
This is what, no, you know, this is weaponized.
So Alex Jones here is hitting the Grim Reaper with some fucking facts right now, talking about weaponized coronavirus created by the reptilians and Joe Biden and his son, going into interdimensional time-traveling pedophile vampires from the 11th realm, shit like that. You know, pretty standard Florida logic for the most part, and they get to engage in a little back and forth so that way the Grim Reaper can get educated.
So Hunter Biden and Joe Biden went to China, and did they create the virus, or did they...
No, they didn't create it.
What did they do?
They brought it back here.
Oh, so they put it in like a tube and brought it back, or...
No, not in a tube.
Okay, how did they do it? They got it themselves and then injected it in somebody?
No.
I can literally smell the Miller Lite on this guy. He loves his Miller Lite so much that his body shape is starting to transform itself to resemble Miller Lite. If this guy gave blood, the recipient would feel their IQ drop by 50 points and they'd develop a crippling addiction to conspiracy theories.
Okay, so Hunter Biden, and then Joe...
This is the Democratic Party trying
It's a
to overthrow Donald Trump.
Okay, where did you learn that?
Just by being alive. I'm 63 years old.
Okay, I do a safe distance.
Okay, now-
Well, you can't argue with that. I mean, the science checks out. He learned it because he's alive. So, I mean, that's enough for me. I don't even need to take that with a grain of salt. I mean, he's 63 years old. You heard him. At 63 years old, he understands everything. So, that at least gives me some solace knowing he at least knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, I have social distance.
wait.
No, I'm just doing 6 feet. No, I'm not scared of you, but...
There's no way in hell I want to fly on you.
No way you're going to what?
There's no way in hell I want to fly on you.
Oh, no, I'm just trying to keep safe distance. So, all right, well, cool. That's a new one. Yeah, I've heard...
So let's leave this way.
I actually don't really know what he said. There's no way I want to fly on you. I don't know if that's his attempt at flirting or not that he learned on AOL. I'm not positive, but it made the conversation a little weird where even the Grim Reaper felt uncomfortable and then he just kind of brushed it off and then they settled the score right there. Or at least that's what you think, but this guy is relentless. He says, you know what, I can smell the fear in the Grim Reaper, and he fucking pounces on it. He chases him down.
Please, this guy. I would ask that you please stay 6 feet from me.
Stay away from this Ray Baiting motherfucker.
I'd ask...
Stay away from him. Stay away from him.
Again, a little confused on what he's saying right here. Stay away from this Rayman motherfucker. I don't know if he's talking about like the Rayman Nintendo 64 games or what. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it is getting serious because now he's brought out his finger and he's pointing at him right now. He's got that old Karen, where's your manager finger, waving his finger around like a magic wand. So you know things have now been escalated.
This is a race baiter. This is a fucking race
At this
baiter.
point, you just stay away, okay? Or I'm going to call the police. I will call the police.
Go ahead.
I'd like to get...
Go ahead down now. Go ahead down now.
You're publicly intoxicated, that's clear.
This man is so unbelievably powerful that he's able to scare the Grim Reaper enough to threaten the police. That is impressive. And then you also have the beach's security guard here. I'm not quite sure, but he's dressed like he means business. This looks like a secret agent on his day off here. And he's trying to get in the middle of it and stop it, but even he's no match for the all-powerful old drunk Willie.
Public intoxication is a crime. It's a felony, so... You're publicly intoxicated and you're...
Stay away from this Ray Baiting motherfucker. Right here. Stay away from him. Stay away from him.
I can really appreciate that he actually has both of his fingers pointing just in case he needed a dual-wield pointer fingers at this man right here. He's got both fingers locked and loaded, and I can appreciate that. He's only using one right now, but he has the looming threat of his other finger, which is pointed at the ground right now, showing a little bit of mercy. But if things pop off, I have no doubt he's going to be real quick to draw on that pointer finger and have both of them pointing at the Grim Reaper, and then what? Then what are you going to do? There's no counterplay, there's no defense against that.
Stay away. You ain't shit.
This is all I could find from this interaction between these two, and as you could see, the Grim Reaper was thoroughly overwhelmed by the power of the Florida man. And a being so unbelievably powerful that not even death itself could stop him in his rampage. I think this is probably the most Florida clip that has ever existed. I didn't need to tell you this is from Florida. You would immediately guess that this happened in Florida. This is just something that's so specific to Florida. Like, this is basically its entire legacy. Like, this is basically what you think of when you think of Florida. And how wonderful is that? That's about it. So yeah, I'm just pretty fucking mad and wanted to vent. Florida is America's asshole. It fucking sucks here. I have left my house 3 times in the last 4 months thinking that by doing this very simple act that an actual fucking baby could accomplish with minimal whining, that the coronavirus cases would start to slow down, kind of like they have everywhere else in the world. But Florida is full of so many brainwashed, vapid, revolting, idiotic ghouls that it's not only increasing every day, but setting new records every fucking day for the coronavirus here in Florida. We just hit a new record of 15,000 new cases a few days ago. We've been getting more than 10,000 cases a day for quite a while now. Today's actually been an extremely good day. Florida's on the turnaround right now. We're making big moves. Today we only had 9,000 new cases clocked, but we also had a record number of deaths for a single day. So you win some, you lose some. It's a give or take, and hey, we'll fucking take those. We can't stop copping dubskis down here in Florida. Bunch of fucking dumbass ghouls here. And cracked out, methed out fucking idiots in this state that read Facebook and then translate these goddamn stupid memes that someone started that's probably locked in a shit-stained basement and for some reason believe that reptilians are controlling viruses, and now they take it and transfer it to the real world and it actively hurts everyone around. It is such a fucking upsetting circumstance in this godforsaken state, if you can even call it a state. I don't think Florida's a state. This is a goddamn laboratory. And what we manufacture here is coronavirus. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, when's coronavirus going to end? Can't wait for coronavirus to be over. Fuck you. I promise you, for as long as Florida exists, coronavirus will not only exist, but will absolutely thrive. We are a coronavirus farm. More than that, we're a coronavirus fucking personal trainer. We're teaching coronavirus how to become better and more effective by just being really fucking stupid. But you know, it's not all bad. To be fair, there's actually a lot of good news in Florida. We just reopened Disney World, so you know, the world of dreams, baby. The Magic Kingdom is in full effect again, baby. So come on down. There's never been a better time to visit Disney World during a pandemic. My dog probably understands more about coronavirus than these fucking stupid people that are out on the streets protesting it and shit. Speaking of anti-mask protesting, let's go ahead and take a look at one that happened yesterday. Let's see what kind of high IQ intellectuals we're dealing with at these protests. So one brave hero opened a grilled cheese restaurant and said, "We don't care about masks, you don't need them here." So the police came in because masks are kind of a big deal and said, "Hey, you need masks." And that's when all hell broke loose. Jesus Christ, blood, tits, and cum was flying everywhere in the restaurant. Children are being snapped in half, taken over the knee, and just busted right in two as the people were shouting, stand down, fighting against tyranny." Something you'd read about in the Bible. Good versus evil, mask versus no mask, the clash of the titans. The abominable anti-mask troglodytes in one unified voice said, "We wanted grilled cheese, and we didn't want to put something over our face, god damn it. It is our right as Americans to not wear a mask in a grilled cheese restaurant."
It's wrong what you're doing. It's wrong, America. This is America. This is America. You're not a communist. This is not communist China.
Now, I'd be a fool to think any of these anti-maskers are literate, so I don't expect any of them have ever read a history textbook, but I find it almost humorous how identical this is to McCarthyism. If those of you that don't know, McCarthyism was pretty much a point in American history where a man named McCarthy would accuse people he didn't like of being a communist, and people are doing that exact same thing with people they don't like that are wearing a mask, or just in general things they don't like. "I don't want to do this, that means it's communism." Oh my goodness, what is that over your face? Is that cloth? How can you breathe? You're suffocating yourself, you communist. "No, I won't wear a mask, you communist." Guarantee half these people can't spell communism. But I do actually find it interesting how history repeats itself. I know growing up you'd always get told, oh, we have to study history so it doesn't repeat itself, but I always thought that was a load of dog shit, because I mean, it didn't make sense to me. Why would history repeat itself? But now I see I was just outright wrong, and it does actually seem to repeat itself, which is pretty fucking wild.
You want to call me selfish for not wearing a mask? I want to say to you, all the people calling me selfish, you're the one who's trying to force me a medical procedure so you can feel more safe.
Chris, I don't only want to call you selfish, I'd also like to call you a homunculus. I think if pathetic was a person, it'd look a lot like you, Chris. Out here striking like an Uncle Sam pose here, calling putting a mask on your face a medical procedure. Yeah, you're not only selfish, Chris, you're also very dumb.
Second that. Listen to this. Stay in your
You
house.
have a right to stay in your house. You have every right to wear a mask if you want.
Shut
Don't
that
shove it
window.
on me.
Shut
You
that
have
window.
every right.
Shut
You
that
have every
window.
right to stay in that
You
house.
have a right to stay in your house.
Stay in your house, Karen.
Shut the
Stay in
window,
your house.
honey. Shut it.
The lack of self-awareness is actually remarkable, calling her a Karen when he's out here dressed like one of those overly handsy middle school gym teachers that eventually gets busted for being inappropriate with the students, and making this huge hoopla about taking 1 second out of your morning routine to put on a mask before going to stuff your fucking face with 3,000 calories at a greasy grilled cheese restaurant. Yeah, she's the Karen, Chris.
This is the kind of thing we're up against. We're up
This is
against.
a person in her own home. She is allowed to stay in her home. Nobody is coming into her home telling her, "Be quiet, honey. You're in your home."
Hi, Chris and Tara. You're not actually up against people. You're up against a virus. You see, this fucking misinformation is turning people on each other. Mask versus no mask people, as opposed to the actual issue at hand being the virus. These people like to believe that they're not perpetual failures, but in reality they are, and they're also sheep. They hate sheep, but they themselves are actual, real sheep. They blindly follow mysterious posts on Facebook that somehow always find a way to draw a divide between people. I'm not one to subscribe to many conspiracy theories, but I firmly do believe that there is an outside force manipulating these really gullible idiots like this into transferring the actual issue from a virus to other people. So that way, if you have them distracted and don't give a fuck about the virus, just have them attacking other people, you can just cause a lot more chaos that way. And I really feel like that's the goal with a lot of the shit on Facebook. I really do think Facebook in and of itself is just an actual virus as well. It should be labeled a pandemic too. It is a truly festering, disease-ridden cesspool.
Shut the window, dear.
There's a few more clips from this anti-mask rally, but it's just more of the same diarrhea drivel from someone else's mouth. I think what's even the saddest part about this is more and more people across the world keep laughing at Florida and the people in Florida, and that only cements their belief that they're right even more. It's such a weird circumstance where the more they get mocked, insulted, laughed at, berated, belittled, it makes them more powerful and cements their beliefs even further, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Who likes to get ridiculed? Why? It's weird. It's like people in Florida have a humiliation fetish. Like maybe they're putting something in the water to turn everyone here into some kind of like humiliation craving cuck. I don't really know, but it's genuinely fucking baffling how people can be so content to just get constantly made fun of in every corner of the world. Nobody respects Florida right now, and for very good and very obvious reasons. But those reasons and that actual just laughing at and mocking is making them believe it even more. It's crazy and sad and fucking frustrating, and it's all that's been on my mind for like the last week, so I just wanted to get it all out of my system here and vent about it. That's about it. So yeah. I've lived in Florida my whole life. I've seen things that you'd only read about in fairy tales. I could tell you stories that you would swear were false. I knew a guy in college who used to ask to lick people's shoes on the streets, the bottom of their shoes on the street, for his own sexual gratification, I imagine. I don't know if it was sexual, it's my theory, but he used to love licking shoes, and he became known as the Ybor shoe licker. Ybor being the area that he resides in. Point is, I'm getting lost in the lore of the Florida comic book superheroes. The point is, these eyes have laid upon things that could traumatize even the most grizzled of Navy SEALs. And yet still I'm surprised by some of the things that happen in Florida. Today I watched a news story that I can't make heads or tails of. I don't know who's in the right and who's in the wrong here. You know, so I just wanted to share it with all of you because it's starting to convince me that Florida is not even a real place. It's just like a giant sketch comedy section, like a quarantine zone of bad sketches gone wrong.
Well, I went to jail. They come arrested me last Thursday. They were here.
I lose them to animals, but I was not expecting them to lose them to my neighbor that was like my friend.
So those are the main characters here, and I'll give you a quick backstory. So they're neighbors, and one of them killed the other's rooster. Now, the guy's claiming it was done in self-defense because the rooster was extremely aggressive, and he's facing potentially up to like 5 years in jail for animal cruelty. He already spent like 30 hours in jail for this. The other guy's claiming he did it just maliciously to kill the rooster. And we're about to get a lot of exposition here, so get ready.
I didn't know to give it a 21 gun salute. CPR, mouth to mouth, you know, or call the chicken ambulance.
Big Roo was Jason DeFelice's pet rooster. That is, until James Nix hit it with a stick.
Now, like a game of Clue, we have the murder weapon and the location of the murder. But we don't know the circumstances as to why. We know James is responsible for the execution of Big Roo, but we don't know the motive. We also know James sounds like Larry the Cable Guy, but that might not be good evidence for us. We get James's side of the story here, and the way he tells this war story makes it sound like Big Roo was the raid boss of this trailer park. He makes it sound like, you know, Big Roo was coming around the block to shake James down for his lunch money, and James panicked and in self-defense hit it with a stick, which unfortunately killed the rooster. He didn't mean to kill it, he just wanted to get it away from him, but it unfortunately led to the demise of Big Roo. He then says that he didn't do CPR or mouth-to-mouth or call the chicken ambulance, saying that he didn't know what to do, kind of panicking about it, which I don't think is going to help James's case here since he just left the body in a ditch. He could have absolutely called the chicken ambulance. I mean, we all know that hotline number, you know, like the Ghostbusters, who are you going to call? Chicken ambulance. But he didn't do even that, so he hit it with a stick and then left it. Which is sad, and I do know from personal experience, roosters can be some real aggressive sons of bitches, that's for fucking sure. I remember being a little kid and like a school field trip took us to a petting zoo. Bro, those roosters will come at you with a head of steam sometime, looking to take your fucking heart out. So I have no doubt that there probably was an element of self-defense here, but I don't blame the rooster or anything, I blame the owner. He was being kept as a pet, and the owner clearly does nothing to like monitor it or keep it on a leash. Though I don't know if you're like supposed to keep roosters on a leash and walk them or something, that I'm not familiar with. But like at least keep them from like just wandering in neighbors' yards and you know, being let loose. The owner just didn't do anything to protect his pet and just let it wander the entire neighborhood, which gets brought up here in a minute.
So I'm defending myself. You know, I was feared for my safety, and the chicken, you know, died.
Nick says the rooster attacked people.
I have not heard that because I know the neighbor here. I know him. Like, we're friends. He never said anything to me about it.
I did tell him after the chicken hit my dad, I said, hey man, the chicken attacked my dad. It's just a chicken. What's he gonna do? You know, okay, well, look.
Now James pulls out the receipts here. He's got the photos to prove it. Man was using that Dell laptop to print these bad boys out specifically for the interview, showing that the chicken does have a history of attacking. So he's saying that his father was a victim of the Big Roo, and you can see some of the scars here. So Big Roo was terrorizing this area, though Jason disagrees, saying that no one ever said that, including James. And truthfully, I just don't know who to believe here because it's very possible James could have just printed off any photos of a leg injury and claimed it was Big Roo that did it to try and establish a history of violence, to try and justify the self-defense with the stick. And I'd like to see the stick that struck down Big Roo because that's got to be the biggest stick in all of Florida. Like a goddamn mahogany tree trunk or like a caveman's club. To take out Big Roo in a single strike, that thing must have been the weight of Thor's hammer.
The neighbors even disagree on how others saw Big Roo.
The kids that used to live over there, they were throwing rocks and sticks at this chicken to keep it away.
I know the kids down here, they played with the rooster a little bit, like would throw rocks at it and chase it.
Jason, that's not playing with the rooster. That's being afraid of it and trying to get it the fuck away from them. Who plays by throwing rocks at each other? Hey, Bill, come on over here. Let's play this fun game of being stoned to death. It's great. Like, again, it's hard to know who's in the right and who's in the wrong here, but I am leaning more on the side of James did this as an accident in self-defense. Jason's attitude is pretty douchey, and he does not understand what playing is. Oh yeah, that James is a real jerk. He's a no-good liar. Everyone in the neighborhood loved Big Roo. The kids would throw rocks at him, run away screaming and crying. It was so much fun, and I know they're going to be really upset to learn the news here. Also, I think Jason does bear a big fault because he's the pet owner. And he did nothing to, monitor the pet, just leaving it completely open to roam the area, clearly. Even he's not defending that. He's talking about how, the neighborhood kids would throw rocks. So, clearly there's a history of Jason just letting the rooster wander around completely unsupervised, which is very irresponsible.
Day when Nick says the rooster followed him and attacked him.
His neck flares up, and he's doing his thing, and he's trying to jump up at me.
He was trying to get the animal away.
This makes total sense to me because if there was a big rooster coming at me and it started busting out the Squidward dance, I'd probably panic too and try and flee, or, flight or fight response would kick in. It'd be a real mess. Again, the way James tells this story just seems a lot more genuine than the way Jason tells it, but it's just so hard to know for sure. But I also think it would have made a lot of sense if James truly did this in self-defense, to go to Jason and be like, look, man, we all loved Big Roo, and unfortunately something tragic just happened, and then explained it to him. I feel like it wouldn't have got this far, but it seems like he just left the rooster's corpse outside, just rotting outside. So, which means that Jason now doesn't trust James' story because James made no attempt to communicate what actually happened to Jason, I guess. This is just, there's so many fucking plot lines going on here. I feel like I'm trying to dissect Evangelion. It's just so many moving parts.
And I try to hit it, but the chicken's jumping up at me and I accidentally knocked it in the head. Call it a lucky shot, whatever.
But when Dave Felice came home, all he saw was his rooster dead in a ditch.
You see what I mean? Leaving the body out there was just a bad move from James because it immediately makes Jason question what the fuck happened and why. It makes it seem like James just killed his rooster in cold blood and left it outside like a trophy or a warning to other roosters, like Vlad the Impaler, putting the goddamn Big Roo on a pike. It's just there could have been a much more efficient way of handling this, just more communication. Like, Jason, you stupid imbecile. You again left Big Roo unsupervised and it tried to attack me, and I accidentally hit it in the head, and unfortunately it went right to Valhalla. They could have talked it out. They both shoulder a lot of blame here, but I really do think Jason's intentions were self-defense. Roosters, again, from what I understand, can be very aggressive. Jason openly states, yes, this rooster just wandered around this entire area. Neighborhood kids threw rocks. The other neighbors over here, knew the rooster. So clearly there's just a lot of problems in general with what happened here. And it's a sad story, but one that I find so fascinating.
I said I'm calling JSO. I called JSO. JSO didn't do nothing. Then a couple days later, I realized I could call animal control.
And in late June, James Nix went to jail for animal cruelty.
Next thing you know, he calls the chicken police on me.
That's the last organization you want to visit from. The chicken police are no-nonsense, ruthless, strictly business, merciless, and they will fuck you up. God have mercy on the soul of someone who gets a visit from the chicken police.
While the neighbors continue the fight, Nick says he never should have been arrested.
Chickens are dying every day, people, at churches, Popeyes, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Really.
He's not wrong, but it's not a great comparison either, because it's not like those chickens are being hit with a stick in the back of the restaurant. They were factory farmed. This was a guy's pet. Again, I think both people are at fault here, but I just don't know who's more in the wrong. I don't know if it's necessarily animal cruelty if it was done in self-defense. Like a rooster, they could hurt you, right? It's not like they're completely unable to do damage to human beings. People get attacked by chickens and it causes damage. Usually not life-threatening or anything, but you still don't want to just be attacked by a random animal just on your way home. Again, Jason shouldn't just let his roosters wander around and, rampage this whole neighborhood. And James should have done more to tell Jason what happened. That it was an accident, that Big Roo attacked him. So, again, just a wild story. And Florida is just so full of wackiness. I couldn't help but just bring this one up. That's about it. See ya. To many people, Florida is an incomprehensible wasteland, almost like something out of a fantasy novel, like Narnia, if Narnia was infested with drugs and human trafficking. But for me, I call Florida home. I've lived in this utopia for all 28 years of my life, and I've gotta tell ya, I swear with my hand on a stack of Bibles, there's nowhere else I'd rather live. Being completely truthful. Born and raised from the womb to the tomb in Florida. Well, I guess not womb to tomb because I'm pretty sure Florida's going to be underwater within the next 20 years, but hey, we're on a tight schedule, I guess. We're on the clock now, and that only makes the time we have with Florida even more special. What's that expression? The star that burns brightest burns out fastest? That is very applicable to Florida. It is a shining star of a state. That little hemorrhoid on the USA? That's right. That's Florida, baby. So anyway, I was feeling awfully patriotic today, and I wanted to celebrate some Florida enthusiasm by talking about a few stories that I've just been thinking about a lot over the last couple days since I learned about them because they're so wacky. Florida has a reputation for producing the most outrageous headlines ever, which is why Florida Man has been like a coined phrase for quite a few years now. Florida Man is just always referring to the crazy stories that could only really happen in Florida. And there's just some that I've really been thinking about that have happened recently. The first story is almost wholesome in its stupidity. So a man stole an electric scooter from Target and then assembled it outside the Target he had stole it at. So he was out there assembling this electric scooter for quite a long time, which gave the police ample opportunity to show up and arrest him.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
Do me a favor, stand up.
Huh?
Stand up. I'm gonna detain you for a second. Come here. Put it down. Yes, sir.
Jimmy Neutron's already been hard at work assembling this device. You can see the electric scooter box right next to him, so he's taking it out, he's following the instructions and putting it together. And usually these aren't exactly quick projects, so the authorities would have had plenty of time to not only receive the call from Target, but to then go ahead and stop for lunch if they wanted to, and then still show up in time to arrest this guy. He was out there for quite a while building the scooter, so the police showed up and probably were beyond surprised to see that he was still there. This was probably like a jump scare for them as well, that this guy who had stolen a scooter like 30 minutes ago was just outside putting it together.
You know why I'm detaining you? No, sir. No? Okay. Once I get these on you, I'll explain it to you. We'll get it all figured out, alright? Alright.
A confounding mystery, no doubt. Why would this good Samaritan just casually putting together the electric scooter he just stole possibly be getting arrested or detained here? Something that science can't quite explain, I suppose. I just really like this whole idea here. He steals the scooter and he's like, alright, great. Oh man, I can't ride this. It's in the box. Well, guess I'm gonna have to put this shit together like it's some fucking Legos. And he just does it outside the Target he stole it at. He could have taken that anywhere else. Literally anywhere else. He could have taken it to like a nearby park or even just on the sidewalk somewhere and started putting it together, but instead he puts it together at the danger zone, the hot spot where he had just committed a crime.
Did you buy this scooter? You don't want to answer that question?
Caught him with his hand in the cookie jar with that question. He asks if he bought the scooter, to which he receives no reply. So then the reality starts to sink in for this guy. I'll go ahead and break down the story here, though it's not super interesting, very generic. Target employees saw him grab the Razor electric scooter, so then they just called the police on him, who then showed up and arrested him because he was outside fucking building the thing. What I really love so much about this one is the fact that this is actual, like, Skyrim NPC behavior. So this guy committed a crime. He takes the scooter, he steals it. And then the second he leaves the store, he must have forgot how he acquired that scooter and thought it was totally okay to just go ahead and start putting it together there. That item he just stole. The next story I want to share with you all is actually a really interesting crime plot. This one's got a lot of layers to it. This one's like almost a huge scheme. It's a $1 million plus milk theft. This is actually like a whole crime group, like the fucking milk mafia. They got together and hatched the perfect crime, like Ocean's 11. They decided they were going to steal a fucking ton of milk. A lot of dairy products. It actually goes pretty deep. So the 6 suspects were employees of Island Dairy, a milk distributor that worked with MacArthur Dairy, a milk and dairy products company, and they were arrested as a result of an investigation dubbed Operation Got Milk. This is already a lot to take in. So you've got a lot of players at play on the chessboard here, a lot of pieces in position. When I first saw the headline, I expected it to be like 1 or 2 Florida men that thought they could steal a lot of milk and sell it. So they stole $1 million worth of milk, and I was like, holy shit, they just made $1 million. It took me a minute to register in my fucking smooth little brain here that who in the world, who on God's green earth is going to be buying $1 million worth of milk? That's not exactly a product that you could turn around and immediately get your money out of. You'd be squatting on a massive, massive fucking inventory of dairy for years before you even remotely started to be able to sell some of it. I don't think there's like a booming black market for milk, so it's not like you're just going to immediately be able to turn it around and sell it on the fucking Grand Exchange like it's RuneScape or something. And I've got to be honest, I'll admit my ignorance here. I don't know if Big Dairy buys from random people, right? So if you have $1 million worth of milk that you have stolen from these trucks, how are you going to try and sell it to a different distributor or a different company? I just don't think they'd be buying your, trunk of milk, right? You pull up behind an alley and you're like, all right, I've got the fucking product here. And they give you money for the milk. I don't think a huge market to be able to immediately turn these products into money in their hands. News stations reported that suspects were delivery drivers and dispatchers for Island Dairy. Since 2021, the suspects systematically pilfered more than $925,000 worth of milk from MacArthur Dairy, along with around $350,000 worth of crates. So obviously we're dealing with a lot of milk here. This is more than a Morton Joe was able to harvest in Mad Max Fury Road. The men would allegedly manipulate the ordering system, causing extra dairy products to be loaded onto the distribution delivery trucks. Police said that the delivery drivers would deviate from their pre-assigned routes, meet with another individual, and transfer the extra dairy products to their delivery truck. So they even reveal the method here. They're just giving away the formula that they used. One suspect allegedly sold each stolen milk carton for $10. Let's pump the brakes for a moment. Who the fuck is buying that? Not only is the price not great, but it's also extremely sketchy just to be buying a carton of milk from a stranger. Who would do that? That shit could be poison. It could be just fucking liquid cyanide in there. Like, what? Why would you do that instead of just going to Walmart and getting a carton of milk for like much less than that usually? It just doesn't compute. Who would treat this guy like he's their drug dealer, like their plug? Like, passing out free milk cartons like, hey, come here. I've got some milk cartons in the trunk of my car. First one's free. But if you ever need your fix, you can meet me by the CVS dumpster. I got plenty more milk cartons where that came from. Like, I just can't even imagine that world. That's so wild. This was an organized crime, basically, where they are working in unison to steal products from a company, and obviously the person receiving those products was selling stolen goods. Officials told WTVJ that Island Dairy conducted an internal investigation that uncovered the irregularities and identified the potential suspects. Police were then contacted and began surveillance on the suspects. Hours later, investigators said they captured the transfer of stolen dairy products on video. So they got him. They got him. This is actually a pretty sizable theft here. $1 million plus worth of milk is fucking crazy. So yeah, I definitely wanted to share that one because, wow, what a plan to steal and sell milk, of all things. Anyway, these were just 2 stories I had read recently and watched, I suppose, since there's videos of both, that have really just stuck with me. I keep thinking about them because they're so goofy. So I just wanted to share that. That's really about it. So yeah. There's a lot you can say about Florida, but one criticism you'll never hear about this state is that the people are boring. Florida men never disappoint. Period. I don't care who you are or where you are in the world, you know about the beautiful creatures known as Florida men. And today I want to talk to you about a brave explorer. His name is Reza Bellucci. Now, you might know of him more recently because 2 days ago he was arrested after trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a hamster wheel floating ball, basically. But what you may not know is that he has attempted very similar feats numerous times in the past. In fact, he even has an entire Vice documentary made about him and his ideas. Rather, idea is the wrong word. It's a passion, a calling, nay, his destiny, to, for some reason, walk across water a long distance in a bubble. In the Vice documentary, they cover one of his attempts to go 1,000 miles from Miami to Bermuda in basically the bubble boy thing from the old Jake Gyllenhaal movie. There's even this really cool shot here where it looks like an AC-130 mission from Modern Warfare. This shit looks like some aerial phenomenon, like a UFO that would have just been declassified by the government. He always gets stopped by authorities trying to save his life from just ending up lost adrift at sea endlessly and dying of starvation and dehydration. But he just keeps coming back. In one of the attempts here, one of the people interviewed mentions that Mr. Bellucci stopped to ask another boat for directions on how to get to Bermuda. So he's not exactly a sailor or anything. He doesn't know where he's going when he gets out on the water. He just knows he needs to get out on the water, and from there, Jesus will take the hamster wheel and guide him where he needs to go, I suppose. Because he doesn't have any way of navigating it, I guess. So there's no doubt if he wasn't stopped by authorities every single time, he probably would have ended up dead by now. In fact, I would say that with 100% confidence, he would have not survived this. Because he just gets into a fucking inflatable hamster wheel and starts running, hoping that he gets to the destination he has in mind. Now, what's really interesting is he actually seems like a really wholesome, nice guy. He is a very talented runner, actually. He is very good at like running marathons. He does a lot and has done a lot for a long time in that scene. And he always runs with a purpose. Usually it's charitable. He likes to run to raise money to help the community around him and help others. And even when doing these missions, the goal is raising money for charitable causes. I still am a little unsure exactly how, considering he just starts running out into the open sea, and there's really no way of knowing exactly what's going on. And his wife in the documentary even says how scared she always is anytime he starts doing this, because she doesn't know if she's ever going to see him again, because he just gets pushed out there and she just has to throw her hands up and say, all right, I hope I see you again. And in the documentary, they even say, you know, like how dangerous it is, like what about a hurricane? And Mr. Bellucci's response was, if there's a hurricane, I'll just go wherever it takes me. So it's just, like, he seems like a really good guy who's become obsessed with the most dangerous idea ever. Just running in open water forever, basically. It's important to mention he does have GPS with him. He doesn't just go out there raw. Like, he has supplies, he has a lot of equipment that he goes out with, but it's not exactly the most effective means of navigating the sea. There are a ton of other factors at play, and having GPS is helpful, of course, but it's not going to solve every problem. Far from it, actually. And it's really sad watching the documentary because in one of his more recent trips, the Bermuda one, the authorities after 5 days did come into the equation and they ended up sinking his bubble with all of his material in it, I believe. So he had like a laptop to watch movies apparently and just a ton of stuff and a ton of money he put into the bubble. They said it was like $120,000 of his own money. But they really didn't do it out of like being evil assholes or malicious or anything. It did save his life, and it's something he himself recognized. He said, I don't need you to save my life. He doesn't want that. He wants to do this mission no matter the cost, I guess. I don't know, the whole thing is just really kind of sad, and he keeps doing it. So I don't want to get like too focused on like his previous missions. The reason we're talking about him today is because he just went on another mission that once again ended with an arrest. You see about the Florida man who got arrested for trying to run from Florida to London in a giant hamster wheel today? Yeah, and that's what it just goes to show you what's wrong with this country. You can't even just go on your own little adventures anymore without Big Brother stepping in and telling you no. Like, whatever happened to freedom? Can't take my giant inflatable hamster wheel and cross the Atlantic? Freedom ain't free anymore. These poor patriots. These Florida intellectuals, they couldn't complete their task. Literally 1984, yeah. Ridiculous. They saved his ass from a burial at sea. They saved him from a grand adventure, is what they did. Florida man was arrested after trying to run to London across the Atlantic Ocean in a homemade vessel resembling a hamster wheel. Officials said the 44-year-old marathon runner refused to leave the vessel for 3 days. Whoa, wait, what? How much food did he pack? 3 days he spent in there? That's like Jack Sparrow on the island in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Mr. Bellucci has tried 3 similar voyages before, all of which ended in Coast Guard intervention. This man is determined. Just let him go! He's got it figured out. He'll be fine. Plus, let's think about it this way. Let's say he does go out there and, maybe things get a little hectic. Maybe a hurricane starts to form. Luckily, he's got the hamster wheel and all the fins on it. He can start running in the opposite direction of the hurricane and dissipate it. He could do us a huge favor. This guy could be a legitimate hero to us. We got hurricanes forming every goddamn day now. Born in the wrong time. True. The makeshift contraption he was using is shaped like a wheel with paddles. They're designed to propel it forward. Based on the condition of the vessel, which was afloat as a result of wiring and buoys, officers determined Bellucci was conducting a manifestly unsafe voyage. Officials said he refused to step off the vessel and threatened to kill himself. Jesus Christ. He also claimed that he had a bomb on board. What the fuck? Was he going to London to blow it up? Like, why would he have a bomb on board? Jesus Christ. On September 1st, he eventually surrendered and abandoned his vessel after being brought to the Coast Guard base in Miami. He is now facing federal charges of obstruction of a boarding and violation of a captain of the port order. That is a very cool sounding charge. It is unclear whether he obtained a lawyer to represent him in this criminal case. This was not Mr. Bellucci's first arrest for taking to the ocean in his vessel, which he calls the Bubble. In 2021, he was arrested after being rescued while trying to ride from Florida to New York after drifting 30 miles south of his departure point. In 2014, he had to be rescued from a similar contraption near St. Augustine. And then 2 years later, he again had to be rescued off the coast of Jupiter near Palm Beach. He's just a fan of the sea. He's no different than Luffy, but instead of a pirate ship, he's got a giant fucking hamster ball. The sea calls to him. It beckons. According to previous interviews, Mr. Bellucci said he was attempting voyages to raise money for a variety of causes, including for the homeless and the Coast Guard. How? Where's the money? Where's the money coming from? Does he have like a tip jar on board? I don't know how he'd be raising money. He's raising money for his previous rescue bills. The Atlanteans speak through this man. He's compelled to wheel across the 7 seas. That's what I'm thinking. You can't stop him. He'll do it again. This is his 3rd time. He'll be back next year. You see that Florida man that got arrested for telling a playground of kids where babies come from? Oh, that is a classic. Yeah, this was a great one. This is classic Florida man shit. Florida man arrested after telling kids where babies come from. And the mugshot here looks so good. So basically what happened is he climbed on top of some playground shit and he just started shouting. And eventually said where babies come from. Not all heroes wear capes. Yeah, I mean, he's educating, honestly. And to be honest, this is better than some Florida schools when it comes to education. He probably could have done it in some more scientific terms instead of yelling about pussy and all that, but whatever. It doesn't matter how stupid a scam might sound to you. I got your nose. Like, even that might have just sent someone into a panic. Doesn't matter how dumb it is, people fall for these kind of scams every single day. The most absurd, most unbelievable things that you ask yourself, who could possibly be that moronic to actually fall victim to it? Well, people do every single day. The reason why these scams exist is because they are successful. And today we're going to talk about one that just happened in my own backyard, Florida. More specifically, Bradenton, which is pretty close to Tampa. I could probably piss into the wind and have a golden shower hit this scammer here while he's mowing his lawn. Now, it's not just one scam either. This actually has quite a few layers. It's a deep onion of scams, and it's all the most unbelievable shit where you ask yourself, who could fall for it? And you're about to find out who. So the perpetrator here, the scammer, is a gentleman who looks like an unholy fusion dance between Larry the Cable Guy and Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Well, what started with a friend request turned into months of talking, and a woman in Frisco, Texas thought she'd hit the jackpot with her new friend, Elon Musk. He'd promised her a huge return for investing with him.
And as Fox 13's Kimberly Quizon reports, the person behind the keyboard was not Elon Musk, but a man from Bradenton who police say was ripping her off.
This is actually the oldest trick in the book. I'm pretty sure this scam predates the birth of Jesus Christ. And it is a scam that a lot of elderly people fall victim to constantly, which is always sad, of course, and it's a scam that's existed for as long as communication has, with people lying to get money out of them, saying like, hey, give me money and I'll give you money in return. They pretend to be something that they're not with some kind of phony baloney nonsense. But with the internet, they've been able to like crank that shit up. They're going plus ultra on that scam, and it's been significantly more effective, which is very surprising to me just how drastically the sentiment around online activity has changed in the older generation. Because when I was growing up, my parents and grandparents put the fear of God in me about like, don't post anything online that would be like an identifier, like don't post anything private online, don't trust anything or anyone that you meet online. Whereas nowadays, that notion is completely extinct. The older generation looks at you like you're weird if you don't have your fucking phone number posted on your Twitter account or something. Like they're going hog wild, believing everything and everyone, ripping their shirt off, twirling it over their head like, yeah, Queef Wellington's revealing the truth. There is plutonium in the toilet paper. We have to go back to using leaves, raw leaves and poison ivy to clean ourselves. It's like, hey, well, let's pump the brakes a little bit. It just seems totally different, but maybe now it's just the access to information. You see more of it. Maybe this has always been happening, but man, it really does just seem like every 70-year-old is just waiting for a random Facebook friend request so they can send that stranger all of their money for no fucking reason.
For a 74-year-old woman, a friend request sent and accepted on Facebook brought on a new and seemingly powerful friendship.
She would communicate on a daily basis with him.
She believes she was talking with Elon Musk, and he told her he had a plan for her future.
A common misconception is that only old people fall for this kind of scam. Like, oh, you gotta be geriatric and senile to think that Elon Musk would contact you and say that he has a plan and that you should give him money. That's just complete fucking barnacles right there. Only, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe even less, and it still goes on today, there was that massive YouTube scam stream that got started up with a looped Elon Musk video that had a link to a Bitcoin wallet that was asking everyone watching the stream to send Bitcoin to that wallet and he would double it. And so many people fell victim to that. And you know 74-year-olds aren't using Bitcoin 2-3 years ago. So the main people that were victims to that were younger people. And that scam, the Elon Musk doubling crypto scam, still goes on to this day to wild degrees of success. You see the streams all over YouTube right now too. I guarantee you can probably find 5 of those bitches live at this moment, and there are people falling for them every single day. Not just old people. So this scam of, I'm Elon Musk and I need money so that way you can make money, I'm here for you, doesn't just work on a 74-year-old woman.
You give us $500,000, I can make you $55 million.
She jumped at the opportunity.
Without her husband's knowledge, she started investing with Elon Musk.
It's kind of heartbreaking to see how trusting people are in a situation like this, where this 74-year-old woman receives a friend request from someone she believes is Elon Musk, and she thinks he's there to try and help her. He just needs a little bit of cash for that. He just needs, you know, a few tiddlywinks of doubloons. Maybe $500,000, $500,000. Those wacky little numbers on the back of the credit card. That's all Elon needs in order for her to get fucking $55 million return. And she believes it. Somehow she knows who Elon Musk is, knows that he's worth billions of dollars, wealthiest man in the world, and she thinks that, oh, this is actually Elon reaching out on a random fucking Tuesday through Facebook to a random 74-year-old woman that he's never met. Like, I bet she was so excited she probably went and put some cookies in the oven for him, baked him a fucking pie or something to thank him.
But Detective Jim Carula with the Bradenton Police Department's Elder Fraud Unit says the woman transferred $250,000 to bank accounts not belonging to Elon Musk, but to this man.
Grant that to me.
An imposter, according to police, 56-year-old Jeffrey Moynihan Jr. of Bradenton.
This guy looks like the bad guy in every 90s Christmas film. Like, he looks like that business guy that's like, bah humbug, there is no Santa Claus. Like, he just has like this distinct look about him where it's like evolution knew he was going to be a scammer piece of shit. So it like molded his whole being into that caricature. It's shocking just how closely he imagines what I picture in my head every scammer to look like.
You have an arrest warrant for your arrest?
Detective Carula says the woman's husband says she gave Elon Musk, aka Moynihan, $600,000. He's continuing to track down where the other money went.
What and who you see is not who's typing back at you. And I think these people, you have to realize that.
Which should be a pretty obvious lesson that's becoming more and more rare for people to have learned. And I can't believe it's something you even need to learn. It should just be something you know. Anybody can make a Facebook account with a profile pic of Elon Musk. There's probably a billion of those fucking things floating around right now. You can see them all over Twitter too. But just because it reaches out to you and it has the name Elon Musk, it doesn't mean that it is. There are 1,000 things you can do to avoid getting scammed like this, yet so many people just don't do it because they are either in a desperate situation or they hear something that just sounds like this is life-changing. I need to at least try. So then they fall victim to a scam like this. And in this case, she was so trusting, and what Elon Musk was saying was so good that she went behind her husband's back and sent 600,000 clams to a random Facebook account.
But here's where things take a turn. It appears Moynihan may have been the target of a romance scam as well.
Mr. Moynihan stating that his girlfriend is the mastermind behind it and that he had no involvement. He is stating he's never actually even met his girlfriend.
Bang! I bet you didn't expect that. So the scammer who was pulling off the impersonation Elon Musk Dublin money RuneScape scam is actually, potentially, the victim of a romance scam himself. He is the victim of the same scam he is doing to the 74-year-old woman without recognizing that. I think is the angle he's trying to play with that. I'm a little confused with the way that it's stated here because I think what's also possible is that Jeffrey is claiming that his girlfriend is the one that did this to the 74-year-old woman and he was totally hands-off. It must have been her. Yet it was his bank account that got all of the money. So that doesn't really make sense unless he was the victim of a romance scam here, gave her his bank account info, and then she used it on the 74-year-old woman, and he didn't know anything about it, and now he's bringing it up here. Or the way that I initially interpreted it is that he has this mysterious girlfriend, this supermodel, superstar, 3-breast mega milkers that he hasn't met before, but she wanted him to talk to the 74-year-old woman as if he was Elon Musk to get money from her. So like that's the way I initially interpreted it, that he is right now talking to this imaginary girlfriend that is telling him to do this. So he's saying, like, I'm kind of blameless. It was my girlfriend who was making me do it. That's the way that it initially came across to me. Mind-boggling. Romance scams are becoming increasingly common as well, where somebody pretends to be, this hot, big-tittied goth chick that wants your meat, but she can't quite get out to you because she's in, like, a bad financial spot. So you got to be sending her money so that way she can eventually come be with you, be your wife, because she loves you. Like, it's love. And what, are you going to deny love? I don't think so. So this douchebag, this stupid asshole is like, okay, well, my girlfriend is telling me that if I don't have the money to pay her, maybe I should try getting it by pretending to be someone I'm not to get money from this lady. And he doesn't connect the dots in his rotted noodle that he is also right now being scammed. It's a beautiful disaster. Now, I do think the most likely explanation is that this guy is desperately making this up, just pulling it out of his ass. Like, oh, no, that couldn't have been me. It must have been my girlfriend. Yeah, my girlfriend, super hot. You wouldn't know her. She goes to a different college. But yeah, she must have, logged on to my account and used all my bank account information in order to receive money from the 74-year-old woman that she was scamming, pretending to be Elon Musk on all of my accounts. That's likely what it was. So he could just be doing this to try and lessen his sentence by saying oh no, it wasn't me, it was this person, and I don't know who that person is, but it's definitely not me, it's my girlfriend. Don't know her, never met her, but it's her. You might as well just blame it on fucking Sasquatch at that point.
As BPD continues their investigation, neighbors of Moynihan remain in disbelief.
It's shocking. It's just surprising.
In Bradenton, Kimberly Cuisin, Fox 13 News.
I decided to leave that little scene in there where they talk to the neighbors because I always find that to just be pretty useless most of the time, where the news will just knock on neighbors' doors and be like, hey, what do you think about your neighbor getting arrested? 9 times out of 10 they're like, oh wow, that's crazy. And in this case, the guy's just shocking. It's not like they're going to have a deep insight on that. What's this guy going to do? But oh no, actually, this doesn't surprise me even a little bit. This doesn't even have me raise an eyebrow, because actually one time, Jeffrey came over knocking on my door with a voice changer, pretending to be Marilyn Monroe. So, I always knew he was capable of impersonating someone. It was just a matter of time before he found a sucker to give him money. That's just not going to happen. Why even leave that part in? Here's what the neighbors had to say. Whoa. All right, anyway, back to you.
Grand theft of what?
Was that?
Grand theft of what?
I'm not the one that wrote the warrant. When the detective comes out here, he'll explain it for you.
Just wanted to show you a wee bit more of the body cam footage here, where he plays dumb. I mean, he is dumb, but where he pretends he doesn't know why they'd be there. And he doesn't have a shirt on, which had me giggling a little bit, because this man got interrupted 15 beers deep by this and didn't even get the chance to put a shirt on in time, so he's just walking around with cold hard nipples in the police station. And anyway, hopefully the victim gets her money back from this. Hopefully they're able to track all that down and give her money back. That's really about it. See ya. It's been far too long since we went over a good old-fashioned Florida man story, and this afternoon Lawn Crime blessed us with an interesting fairy tale I hadn't heard before.
It's 4 p.m. in Lake County, Florida, where police catch up with one man who allegedly bared it all in a road rage incident.
You ever have such a serious case of road rage you can't help but hang hog and start shaking your wiener violently at the other car that made you upset? My guess is probably not, but I would argue maybe you just haven't been pushed to the edge quite yet. Because sometimes when you get real mad, the penis comes out. At least according to this situation, I suppose. That's a really interesting concept to me. Just getting steam coming out of your ears and you're like, ooh, why I oughta, and then dropping trow. I don't know, it's just very interesting to me. But anyway, you're about to meet a man who looks like Mike Ehrmantraut on Fint.
So, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. We got a complaint that your car, someone driving your car with a red tattoo in his right arm, exposed his genitals to a car in a road rage incident. That wasn't you?
No.
Okay. So where'd you just come back from? By chance?
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, which way? Which one down there by KFC down there in
Leesburg.
Oh, up in Leesburg?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't get into an incident with anybody?
No.
No? Okay. Well, they described you to a T.
I find it very suspicious that he would refer to KFC as Kentucky Fried Chicken. Almost nobody does that. Everyone just calls it KFC. I think, now keep in mind, I'm no professional super sleuth here or anything, but I think he was panicking a little bit and didn't know where to say he was coming from to try and throw him off the trail. Oh, I was over at Dickville. No, not there. Kentucky Fried Chicken is where I was.
Okay. What does that mean?
So I'm trying to figure out what actually happened. So I got one
Nothing
side.
happened.
I got one side of the story, and someone describing you perfectly to a T, along with your car and license plate.
When I'm out and about, my dad's in there. My dad's been with me all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the car with you, all on your way to KFC.
No.
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 So nothing happened. No road rage incident. Nothing like that.
No.
You don't remember anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Case closed then. Surely just an interesting coincidence that they happen to get the license plate as well as describing the man who owns the car to a T, as well as what he was wearing at the time and describing his tattoo, and it also matched the photographs they took. Alright, simple enough. We got the wrong guy. Something I want to briefly mention that has absolutely nothing to do with this story itself, just a little fucking side quest I want to yap about. The dog not being on a leash bothers me a lot. I have always said that even if you have the most well-behaved, best-trained dog, it is just a smart, safe idea to keep your dog on a leash when it's out in public. You never know what's going to happen. It's just better for you, your dog, and everyone else around you if it is just on a leash in public. I'm not going to yap about that too long, but I have never once had my dogs out without being on a leash, even though they are fucking angels.
Alright.
Tell them I got the wrong guy.
Oh yeah, you think so? Well, they described you wearing exactly what you're wearing, bald, no beard, and a red tattoo on his forearm.
Okay.
Police identify the man seen here as 56-year-old James Box.
Mr. Box. A fitting name, I suppose. Very interesting. I love how he's just wearing the exact same shit from the road rage incident as well, like a little cartoon character, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised by because the road rage incident happened moments ago, not like weeks or months in the past. It's not like this has been some kind of grueling case that they've been, you know, chipping away at for a long time, like they're trying to locate the Zodiac killer, you know, deep in the forensics lab trying to find the cranky cock culprit or anything. So, like, I guess it makes sense he'd be in the same clothes, but I just can't help but find it very silly that they'd show up and he's just wearing the same shit, looking exactly the same, like he was fucking frozen in stasis. Like, maybe he should have put some more effort into, like, a disguise, maybe, to throw him off the trail. You know, he comes out in a trench coat and those glasses with the big nose and fake mustache or something. Like, it's not me, officer. I don't look anything like those photos.
So that's you. So
Okay.
I'm giving you another opportunity to explain yourself, if you would like to.
There's nothing to explain. Why?
Okay.
So he pulls there, and I said, we've got to get his tag and call 911. So we pulled in, we tried to just get the tag, and that's when he got out of the car and started charging toward us first, physically. That's when I started taking those pictures, and when he got around this the median there into the landscape, and that's where he stopped, pulled his pants all the way down, right there at our midnight.
Now, of course, I wasn't there at the scene. I did not bear witness to this event, but I have a hunch. It's not backed up by any scientific data nor the witness testimonies, but I have to imagine when he pulled his pants down, he didn't just stand there static T-posing with his meat in the wind. I think he was probably trying to helicopter it. That's just a theory, a game theory. Now, I cut around the lore a little bit here, but according to the witnesses, he was deranged. They mentioned that he stuck his head out of the window and started like making faces and sticking his tongue out. Apparently he had thrown some stuff at the vehicle as well, and then it eventually led to him getting into his birthday suit. And then also he had apparently went back to his vehicle, and the family thought he was like trying to retrieve a weapon, according to the father there. So like it seemed like he was trying to scare them to the best of his ability, which is why they got his license plate, got his pictures, and reported it with the intent to like press charges against him. Also, their kid is in the car.
Officers decide it's time to confront James again.
The camera, but unfortunately I did.
The officers feel they have sufficient evidence to link Mr. Box to that crime. I would agree. It's not like this family just pulled this random fucking license plate out of their butt and somehow it landed at a guy that perfectly matched the description they described as well as matched in the photographs that they apparently took at the scene. I think that's pretty bulletproof, pretty watertight. So now the officers are going to get Mr. Box from his home. Now, I know the body cam footage is a little blurry right now, but he does clean it off. But at the moment, I recognize that the body cam looks like in Schedule 1 when you smoke your own meth. It's all blurry and shit, like you're going through a fog.
Hey, Mr. Box, can we have a conversation out here one more time?
You can tell me right there.
No, come on out.
Come on out for us. Yeah.
It's time to come out.
Time to come out.
Oh, you're gonna get rough now, right?
No.
Show me how tough you are.
No, we're gonna put
Turn around.
Put your hands together like you're praying.
I don't pray.
Okay.
Mr. Box with an exquisite move here, a scholar's mate on the board. He puts them in a checkmating position when he says he doesn't pray. an interesting gambit from Mr. Box here, but it doesn't stop him from getting handcuffed.
With intent to prosecute.
Is it the people in the car?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to, hey, hold on a second.
I'm showing
if you want to ask my dad the question,
you can move your leg, or I'm gonna put you in for
what?
Exposing his sexual organs to a woman and her child. Yes.
I don't know anything about that one.
Well, no,
I got a question for you.
it happened out on the road.
Did you go to KFC with your son?
Did I go to where?
KFC with your son?
No.
No?
You might remember at the beginning of the story, Mr. Box said that his dad was with him all day, but then when he was asked if his dad was in the car when he went to KFC, he said no, which then makes it completely useless. His dad was not with him all day in that regard, clearly. And then when he's being put in the back of the police cruiser, he says to ask his dad the question, which, again, is worthless, because he already said his dad wasn't in the car. But they do still ask the father, were you in the car when your son went to KFC? And he just says no. But he does say that they were together earlier, and he didn't see his son bring out the old, 3-inch glory or anything. So, like, I don't know why Mr. Box really thinks that his father's in a position to be able to, try and, bring the heat off of him somehow, when he has already said that his dad wasn't there for when this would have happened. But anyway, they do talk to the father and inform him of what's going on. I feel really bad for the dad in this case, because he seems like he is just really upset about it, which makes a lot of sense why he would be. Anyway, though, you hate to be a car on the road when Mr. Box is behind the wheel, because he might just snap and you might see a little something more than you bargained for out there in the old, great outdoors. Anyway, yeah, they brought him in on the charges of indecent exposure. That's really about it. See ya.